Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's good to have you this week also. And in case you're new, my name is Kpamor James Tengu Suleh. Last week I spoke to you on the fact that if you're planted by God, you are a noble vine and a holy right seed. And I did inform you that nobility is fought and wholeness is also fought by some forces around us, and if you do not fight well and you are overwhelmed by the forces that fight nobility and wholeness, you will not be able to fulfill destiny in a grand style. And I did promise that this week I'm going to give you content with regards to the forces that fight nobility and wholeness, and that's what I'm here to do for you this week. Now, what are the forces that fight nobility and wholeness? And before I get into these forces, let me inform you that every man that you have seen that was overwhelmed and failed to fulfill destiny was simply overwhelmed by these forces. There is nothing else that makes it impossible for man to fail in the fulfillment of his destiny other than the forces I am going to give you this moment. The moment you pay attention to these forces and you do not allow them to overwhelm you negatively, I can assure you that you are set for a fulfillment of destiny in a grand style. So the first force I want to mention to you is the force of opinions. The force of opinion. Now, nothing kills the fulfillment of destiny as the force of opinions. The force of opinion is one of the forces that kill men and prevent them from fulfilling destiny. Opinions from people. Now, sometimes this opinion arises from your inadequacies, which may be momentary or may be within a season. Now, the fact that you cannot do this well or that well at this moment does not necessarily mean that you have actually outrightly failed in that regard. So if someone builds an opinion about you, for instance, that you cannot cook, probably because you have not learned how to cook, and then he builds opinion about you that you are a lazy person and sees you in that light, it's a very dangerous thing. And if that opinion gets into you and you accept the opinion that has been raised by such a person, I can tell you, you are doing something very destructive to yourself. So opinions that have been sown by people around us, that have been nursed by people around us, and they have made us to believe these opinions are very, very detrimental to us on our path of destiny. Sometimes these opinions are hatched by our parents, our guardians, or people that we have grown under, or people who have taken care of us. These opinions sometimes are hatched by our teachers, sometimes are hatched by our colleagues at work. Please let me inform you, any opinion that does not agree to who God has created you to be, do not give any consideration to that opinion, irrespective of the person who has hatched that opinion. It is his personal opinion and accept it as such, but believe in who God has created you to be. Even if it is a parent that has hatched an opinion about you that you know that it's not who you are or who you were created to be, please do not give any consideration to that opinion, because if you do, it's going to affect you in a great deal and it will make you not to fulfill destiny. Now, the second aspect of opinion, sadly, is that many of us even have opinions about ourselves that are not in line with who God created us to be. We have accepted some opinions that about us, we have hatched some opinions about ourselves that are far from who God created us to be. Now, every opinion that is negative and is not in line with who God created you to be, that opinion has in itself a potential and a capacity to prevent you from becoming who God created you to be. So if you give any consideration to it, you would fail at becoming who God created you to be. Now, the second force that has a potential of preventing you from becoming who God created you to be is the force of circumstances. The circumstances that are around you. Now, it looks light, but I can tell you that many people have been prevented from fulfilling destiny simply because of the circumstances around them. Maybe God created you to be someone who will be wealthy and who will take care of the needs of those who are around you. Now, the fact that you are in lack now does not necessarily mean that you will never be wealthy. But circumstances have made people to believe who they were not created to be. That you are not educated does not mean that you cannot even own an institution and train people. It's just a circumstance. Look at the circumstance as something that is momentary. The moment you give in to the circumstance around you, you have closed your path that would have led you to the fulfillment of destiny. So circumstances are forces that prevent people from fulfilling their destiny when they are bad or unfavorable circumstances. Now, the third force, which is another strong force that will prevent you from fulfilling destiny or fight your nobility and wholeness, is the force of sin. Now, when you give in to sin, what you are saying outrightly is that you have taken a bold step to live against what God created you to live. You have decided to say that you are taking a bold step to live against the very design of your Creator. And when you take that step, there is no way that you will not be overwhelmed by this force. There is no way your nobility and your wholeness will find manifestation. So the three forces I want to give you that fight nobility and wholeness and prevent men from fulfilling the destiny that God had created them to fulfill. One is the opinions that arise from those who are around you, or the opinion that you have hatched by yourself with regards to yourself. The second is the force of circumstances that you find yourself, especially unfavorable circumstances. And then the last one is the force of sin, going against the very instructions or directives of God. And I hope that this content will help you watch against these forces that fight nobility and wholeness, so that you will be able to fulfill the purpose for which God created you and brought you upon the face of the earth. Thank you very much for keeping the date with me, and I hope to see you next week, Thursday, 6 p.m. GMT+1. God bless you.